online video recap in association with astounding.com.
Hi Keith, lovely to meet up with you on the range on the evening and do some further work on your game. Just a quick recap on the points that we covered. First of all, when viewed from down the line, the club was getting moved very much on the inside very early, so there's a little bit too much turn, not enough extension and left tilt. So there's a lot of turn there. Club's getting moved inside very quickly. When we look at the swing from face on, from P1 to P2 and beyond, far too much forward flexion maintained. See the hips moving forward to allow you to stay centred, because we've discussed in previous sessions that's a little bit of a cheat on your part. So do we stay centred? In regards to that red dot on your sternum, yes, but how do we do that? You can see there's a lot of forward flexion maintained, and the lower centre of gravity is moving way too far forward during the backswing. So what we talked about yesterday was putting some left tilt in there very early, and we talked about the analogy of a line down the middle of the chest, and we talked about the zip on the jacket, and trying to feel during the takeaway that we were going to lean this zip towards the target. So we're going to tilt to the left more from P1 to P3 rather than the zip on the jacket leaning away from the target. So we're going to try and get more side bend in there earlier. I know we watched Charlie Wee there during the takeaway. Left shoulder works down. We're starting to see here already. Put a line on the notch of the sternum to the belt buckle that we're starting to left tilt, and there's more left tilt going in there as the player continues to swing, whereas with yourself there's too much forward flexion maintained. Everything moved into the right causes you to then have to come over the top of it to try and get it back online. So you can see that move. Shaft very deep, shaft steepening dramatically during the downswing. So as we said, what we've tried to do initially is put a little bit of left tilt in there. So this feeling you got here is that you're continuously tilting to the left. You can see now that the hips don't move as far forward. Compared to where we were at the start of the session. A lot of forward flex maintained, lower centre of gravity dipping forward to allow you to stay over the top of the ball. We're now much more naturally over the top of the ball with much more left tilt to coincide with the turning and extending during the backswing. We take a little look at the effects of this from down the line as we're trying to tilt left more. We're getting some super positions here during your rehearsals. See, they're much more left tilt. Swing itself, tilting to the left more, club not getting quite as far behind you, and the change of direction now much better. So we just put a line in there from the top. The hands and the club in this instance above plane, steepening shaft through the right shoulder. On this one, hands moving down plane more, club shaft not steepening, much more through the base or middle of the right bicep. Much better delivery position than what we're seeing here. So we've got to get some left tilt in there. Then what we've got to learn to do is use the ground to push up, and we give you some drills to work on that. But really, Keith, between now and when we get together next, I want to improve that position that you see there and get it looking more like we see with Charlie here. This position that we're seeing down here is far better. Not the finished article, but there's certainly more left tilt in there earlier, and the lower body is working much better. Good luck with it, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Well done.